In a surprise move this afternoon, the Postmaster General reversed course, suspending controversial changes to the U.S. Postal Service. And his decision comes after protests and pressure from Democrats in Congress. They believe President Trump is trying to undermine mail-in voting. Those changes included banning overtime and late delivery trips for carriers, cutting back office operating hours, and removing sorting machines and, in some areas, mailboxes.
We stand with the post office, and that we will not let this president or this Postmaster General take our voices or our votes away.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is calling lawmakers back to Washington this weekend to vote on a measure that would allocate $25 billion in funding and then mandate a rollback of those recent changes to USPS operations. And some of the lawmakers who represent our state in Washington weighed in on those proposed changes and problems.
Yeah, Patrick Hayes spoke to our reps in D.C. about today's switch-up and their plan to try and keep our postal service running.
On Saturday, the House will vote on giving the Postal Service $25 billion. That money will be used to cover some financial shortfalls and make sure there's no major changes before the election. Assistant Speaker of the House, Congressman Ben Ray Lujan, and Congresswoman Deb Haaland took part in a nationwide effort on Tuesday, calling out the President and Postmaster General for starting to make changes that Democrats say could derail this year's election.
New Mexicans look to the Postal Service to get their medications on time, to receive their Social Security checks, to vote, to connect with family, and run their own businesses.
The Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy, suspended those changes, which included banning overtime and removing machines used to sort mail. Officials in Albuquerque tell us one machine was already removed, with others scheduled to be taken out of commission.
For months, House Democrats have been working to provide the USPS with the resources it needs to continue delivering mail on time and prepare for the increased mail demands ahead of the 2020 election.
On Saturday, the House is expected to look at sending the Postal Service $25 billion to make sure none of those changes happen and to make sure the department has the resources they need moving forward. Senators Tom Udall and Martin Heinrich say they're committed to holding the president accountable and plan on supporting the Postal Service.
Not just through elections, which is what the U.S. Postal Service Postmaster General has announced, but actually through COVID-19.
Congresswoman Xochitl Torres-Small tells us the $25 billion plan has bipartisan support, but she wants to make sure they're fully operational past November.
So I'm glad that the administration is seeing now what we're hearing as well, which is that Americans love our post offices.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear from the Bernalillo County Clerk about what deadlines you need to know about if you plan on voting absentee. Reporting in Northeast Albuquerque, Patrick Hayes, KOB 4.
Republican Party of New Mexico Chairman Steve Pierce had this